Hi, and welcome to another episode of Natural Bliss Podcast for a better quality of life. I am your host, Joyce Wheeler. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell. I do recordings every Wednesday. They go up on Thursdays. This is an exception. And you're going to want to go by. We've got the new website set up. So it's heavenlybodieswellness.com. Over there, we are having a Valentine's Day special. So site-wide sale, 20% off everything. So go over there and shop your little hearts out. So let me introduce my guest. You might even already know her. Her name is Ginny Trask, and she was born into a family of entrepreneurs. Business is simply second nature to Ginny. She began her first business at the age of 16 and never stopped. She has owned and grown numerous small businesses from incubation into the multi-millions and used to help other small business owners optimize their ventures in travel, retail, and restaurant enterprises. She is passionate about helping businesses to thrive and not just survive. Welcome back to the show, Ginny.
Thanks so much for having me, Joyce. It's such an honor to be here. I love what you're up to in the world. And you guys definitely go check out that Valentine's sale because Joyce's products are amazing. You put so much research into what you do, Joyce, and so much love and care into the products that you make. You know, you really are such an avid researcher and you're so dedicated to helping people live their best life holistically. So I love that. And it's a real honor to get to hang out with you today.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. And the honor's all mine, believe me. So we've got something exciting coming in February, don't we?
Yes, and you've actually done this with me twice already. So we have our Entrepreneurs Speaker Retreat coming up February 8th through the 11th in Dallas, Texas. And Joyce, you actually have been one of our guests for our retreats twice now. And, you know, so we're excited to be coming to Dallas for the first time. Our other two retreats have been in New Orleans, and we're thrilled to be coming to Dallas to be helping entrepreneurs to grow their business through public speaking and to help public speakers treat their speaking business more like a business. So that's really our goal with the retreat. And we're really excited to just get to do what we do and to be able to bring the art of public speaking to the world.
Now, you have a very powerful story as to how speaking has helped you in business. Can you share that with us, listening audience?
Absolutely. So as you said, you know, I started my first business at 16 and I've owned and grown multiple small businesses, you know, from incubation to the multi-millions. And, you know, the challenge that I had in business was really the sales side of things, where I was just so exhausted behind sales and marketing. I was so exhausted from the conversations that I was having to have with clients. You know, I was having these one-on-one conversations with clients and they were just draining me. You know, it was this constant, you know, hustle and grind sort of trying to, you know, get a client on board and to try to get them to purchase and try to overcome all of their objections and, you know, lowering my prices just to try to get a deal done. And, you know, just the grind of that was burning me out. And I had gotten burnt out from that in a couple of different businesses, but I wasn't aware that that's what it was. I was just like, oh, it's the wrong business. Here, I'll just do a different business and it'll be better, you know? And it wasn't. And, you know, and then I thought, oh, more sales, right? More sales solves the problem. If I can just sell more, then I'll be happier because more money equals happiness, right? So that's what I thought.
Right.
So I tried that. And I found actually that the more sales I did, the more miserable I basically was. And I thought, well, maybe I just don't like marketing. And so I hired somebody to do my marketing and I was still burning out. And I burned out so badly that I actually almost threw a $4 million a year business in the trash. I came within about doing that. And during that time period, when I was at the very lowest low and I was so exhausted and so burnt out, I went to a small business expo and I heard a guy talking about building your business through public speaking. And he talked about taking your message one to many and how that could really change everything for your business. And in the second that he said one to many, I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the thing, right? I don't want to have these one-on-one conversations. What I want to do is be recognized as the expert and the authority that I am and stand at the front of the room with a microphone in my hand and broadcast my message to a larger audience all at once. And I thought, this is the thing. This is what's going to save my business. And sure enough, it did. So within about 5 months, I wound up changing everything about my business through public speaking by taking my message one to many and really positioning myself as the expert that I was. I changed the client conversation. I changed it from chasing clients to qualifying clients, right? So I changed that client conversation from me begging and trying to, make a deal and get the lowest price to people literally asking if they could qualify to work with me. I also, could take my message to such a large group. And then, so if I speak to a group of 100 people for an hour, if I get 10% of the room, 10 people come up and say, hey, I really want to work with you. That's completely different than having to spend an hour with each person one-on-one, or even 30 minutes with each person one-on-one.
Right.
So really changed that for me. Within about 5 months, I went from in 1 hour making what previously it would take me 120 man hours to make.
Wow.
Financially. So, I was making, when I get paid to speak, I make about $5,000 for an hour long talk. When I do speak to sell, I make way more than that. But it would take me 120 man hours in my business to earn 120 man hours to earn $5,000. So when I started to look at that, the third magic thing about public speaking happened to me. I started to change the way that I valued myself and my time. Now that I realized that an hour of my time could be worth $5,000, it completely changed everything else that I did in business. And I started framing everything in that, so instead of trading, hours for dollars, I really did realize that I could do business differently from that. And so it made a massive change in my business. And now I work a fraction of the hours that I used to work. And I get to speak to audiences around the world. I get to change people's lives. I get to make an impact that I want to make. And I'm earning more than I earned before. So it's just been magic for my life. And that was really the impetus for me to create the retreat, was I wanted to help other people to make this massive, powerful change in their business.
Right. And the fact that you're an introvert.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be other people listening who are introverts going, I can't do this.
Right. So thank you for bringing that up, because you're right. So here's how public speaking works for introverts is, as an introvert, it's actually a much better use of my time, right? First of all, by the way, over 50% of public speakers are introverts. So it's not, people think like, oh, if I'm an introvert, I can't get on stage. Well, you might be shy and you might have some insecurities about getting on stage. But actually, if you are an introvert, which to me, let's just define it. To me, an introvert is someone who gets their energy from being alone. An extrovert is someone who gets their energy from being around people. So 50% of the speakers that I know are introverts. So they get up there on stage, they talk to the group all at one time. Maybe some people come up afterwards and ask some questions, right? But then they get to go back to their hotel room and hibernate and not speak to anybody, right? Because they got their message out there in a powerful way. And people self-selected and said, yeah, I want that. I want to work with this person. I resonate with them. And then they jumped in. So see, it shortens that sales conversation. You're now not having to have all these one-on-ones. And so for me as an introvert, first of all, it was easier for me energetically because I didn't have to have, 6 hours worth of one-on-one conversations, 5 days a week with clients to try to land business. I could speak for an hour, once a week or once every couple of weeks and still get the same level of exposure that I was getting from doing one-on-ones. Right. So it was better for me energetically. But also, I mean, it's just more efficient to me. But also it is kind of a different way to interact with people. It is sort of you're qualifying them as opposed to them qualifying you. So it just really shifted the energy for me. And if you're an introvert out there and you're thinking about public speaking, the nerve part can kind of be gotten over. There's lots of speakers out there that still get nervous a little bit. But the benefits kind of outweigh that having to deal with that nervous energy. And, I really think it's rewarding and we can help you with that. That's part of what we do in the retreat is we really try to give you formulas and tools and kind of try to ease you into becoming comfortable on stage. And so, the retreat is a perfect thing for people who are just thinking this might be right for them, but they're not sure. it's a great way to just sort of dip your toe in the water.
It is, because they get to be up on stage 3 different times speaking to the audience, and you get to work on your talk title. And later on, I know Ginny helped me with my talk title. I don't know if she's doing that this time or not. But and even though I've been to the retreat 2 different times, it was different each time. The second time I went, I thought, wait a minute, I already did this. But I really wanted to go because Ginny and Kimberly, their energy is so great and so awesome. And the rest of the speakers it's the same. It's just the energy, it's just phenomenal, even with the other attendees, just a really great time, really great energy. So I wanted to go back because I wanted to feel that energy again. I was like, I want to be around these people. I love these people. But it was different the second time. So even if you've been before and you're listening to say, oh no, I was already there one time. No, go again, because you're still going to get something. Plus, you're going to make more connections.
Yeah.
So tell us, Jenny, a little bit about what do they get? Because I know you have 2 different packages. You have a general and then a VIP.
Yeah, so our general admission package, includes still all the same coursework. So basically what we do is actually before the event, we have a call where we teach you 2 things. We teach you the 20-word intro and what we call the 20-word intro, and we teach you our magic expanding talk formula. The reason I think that's important, most speaking courses don't do anything with you ahead of time. You show up and then you learn the talk formula or whatever you're going to learn on the first day. And then now you're spending your whole time trying to kind of get a talk ready enough to kind of get feedback on it. We want to give you the preparation ahead of time so that you have something to start with when you're there, rather than trying to come up with it like on the first night, like, oh, I've learned the formula. Now I'm going to spend all night in my hotel room trying to figure out how to fit a talk into the formula. We give it to you about a week ahead of time. So we give you that formula to help you to go ahead and begin to have a talk ready before you arrive. Then once you're there, you guys are going to get to hear from some of the best speaker trainers in the world. A lot of speaker training is kind of the guru model of trainings where you have like this one guru and they're going to tell you how it's done. There's a lot of different types of speaking for your business. So that's why it's called the Entrepreneur Speaker Retreat, because entrepreneurs, depending on what type of business you're in, there's different types of speaking that might work for you. So there's speak to sell, which is great for coaches. So we have Jay Souter and Susan Kirby who help with Speak to Sell. So they'll be there with you guys. So if you're wanting to speak to sell, that means you're going to sell a program from your talk, right? So it's great for coaches. It's great for, anybody who's selling a service-based, product. It's really great for them. We also have, getting paid to speak. So we have Orlia Moore come and talk about paid speaking. Paid speaking is great if you want to get in front of a corporate audience, right? So for folks that want to get in front of a corporate audience, that's kind of a better type of speaking for you. See, I spent $50,000 on speaking with the wrong type of speaking. I was doing speak to sell when really for my industry at that time that I first learned speaking, I should have been doing paid speaking, right? But I didn't know that. So we don't want you guys to do that. We don't want you guys to make the mistakes that we did. So we give you access to all these coaches that can help you navigate the different types of speaking for your business. We have James Dentley coming. He'll talk about the different types of audiences and how to speak into their listening. We have Angel Tussey coming and talking about media mastery and how to really leverage speaking in order to get media exposure and get featured on the news and in news outlets and radio and TV and things like that. So we really want to give you guys that boost. So we spend for 3 days, we just pump you full of amazing content. But mixed in there, you're going to get a chance to speak, to get on stage, to just try it out. And we go really easy at first, right? You just get up on stage and you do your 20-word intro. It's really simple. And then we kind of ease you into doing a 3 or a 5-minute talk. And so when you're a general admission attendee, you get all of that. As a VIP, you also get, as general admission, you also get headshots, because one of the most important things you can have as a speaker is a great headshot. So we give you professional headshots. You also get a chance to do one-on-one coaching with the speaker trainers, which is really fantastic. If you come VIP though, it's $1,000 for the general admission. It is for VIP, it's $2,000, but you also get a Sizzle Reel. The Sizzle Reel is super valuable. You'll spend $2,500 or $5,000 just on a Sizzle Reel as a speaker. So we give you that Sizzle Reel because if you're really going to take your speaking to the next level, you're going to want that to give to event planners and people who might be hiring you to speak. So you get that Sizzle Reel. You're also going to get access to our VIP fancy dinner where we all dress in ball gowns and tuxedos and have a great night with our speaker trainers. And we get access to our VIP party. So, we really do that extra thing for the VIPs because those are for the folks that are really ready to, to take it all the way. And our speaker training is far less expensive than most speaker training out there. There are some companies that do speaker training for $1,000, but it's usually one day. So it's pretty rare to get a 3-day training for $1,000. There's a lot of trainings out there that are 3 or 5 days that are $25,000.
Right.
We still give a lot of the content that those programs give, but for a lot less money. So, for $2,000 to get your Sizzle Reel is really not bad. And then plus we go out to that fancy dinner and have a really great time. And you get more one-on-one time with the coaches that way, because, speaking is all about that mentorship and really getting feedback from people who have been where you want to go.
Right. And I just want to say something about the speak to sell. At this point in time, I'm not selling a service, and this is for the listening audience. I have actual product that I sell. So even if you have actual product, don't think that because Jenny mentioned, coaching as an example, that's the only people who can speak to sell. Again, yeah. I sell actual products and I speak to sell.
Right. It is great. You're right. In your case, it's great for a product-based business as well, because really what you do, when you speak, Joyce, is you educate people, right? You're educating people. And then lo and behold, at the end of that educational session, you have products that they can buy that, tie into that education, and so you're giving great, valuable content and expert advice on, holistic living in your case. But yeah, at the end, absolutely, you can sell a product as well. You're absolutely right. I did not mean to exclude product sellers, because you're right. It's a great way to sell products.
No, that's why I said that you just use coaching as an example, but I just didn't want other people who, like me, are selling products to think that this isn't for them because they're not a coach. It can work for a lot of different people. If you are selling anything, you can speak to sell. And Ginny and her team, they can help you to go ahead and come up with your talk title, the 20-second, which is a whole lot of fun, the 20-second intro. And what else was it? Oh, I don't know. Are you getting to do the speaker one sheet too?
Yeah. So we do also help you guys come up with your bio, your talk titles, your kind of the things that are asked for, like in a one sheet. So we do also want to help you with that piece, because a lot of speaking gigs will ask you for a one sheet, which is basically going to be your headshot, your talk title, a few points about your talk title, and your bio. Those are the most important things that go on your one sheet. So we'll get everything, we'll help you guys to create that so that you know what should go in there. Orly is actually, what's amazing about Orly Amore, she'll be there coaching you guys on talk titles in addition to teaching you about paid speaking. Orly is a master of talk titles. She actually wrote a book called Public Speakers, You're Not All That, where she polled 3,500 event planners that hire speakers to find out what it was they're looking for. She's also a former, she's a certified profiler, like a psychological profiler. So what she does is she helps you to craft talk titles that really do speak into the psychology of people and what they want to hear. So it's really powerful to get to work with her. We have Susan Kirby, who helps you come up with your core message, which is really valuable. Patsy Sanders gets into the image piece of it, because it does matter. What you wear, the way that you present yourself on stage, it does matter to that bottom line of being able to sell and adding to your credibility. So you get to work with all those folks, and because it all, again, plays into that business of public speaking. But I do want to speak a little bit into, for folks that are honestly afraid of public speaking. it's still a valuable retreat for your business, because I think because of the clarity that you get from going through the exercise of public speaking, right? When you're going to stand on stage and you're going to talk to people, you obviously want to be clear and you want to be concise before you do that. And so the formulas that we teach you help you get that clarity and that concisity with your message, whether or not you ever intend to stand on a stage. It's still great to get that, even for the one-on-one conversations that you're having with clients, even for when you're just going to networking events and just talking to people in the room, right? That 20-word intro that we teach really helps you get clear and concise so that people understand what it is you do more quickly, right? Because people want to know what you can do for them. Is it a fit for them? And the clearer that you can be about your business and what you sell and the results that you get for people, just the quicker those sales conversations can go, and the more easily people can see whether or not, they should work with you. And I think that as entrepreneurs, we have to be better sorters of people. We have to be better sorters of whether or not a client is a fit for us. It's okay if they're not a fit, right? But the sooner that you find that out, the better off you'll be, and the more energy you can put into the things that matter in your business besides sales.
I wish Kimberly were here, because she has a really great example of her 20-word intro before and after it was revamped, and how, the first way that she was doing it, she was getting crickets. And the second way, people are like, hey, you want to talk to her? You want to come talk to her?
Well, as a matter of fact, I can give the example, because Kimberly and I have taught the 20-word intro class several times. And so the example is this, right? When you go to networking, you basically get, one of four things that happens. One is you get what's called the hook, right? Where somebody says to you, and they're like, what do you do? And you're like, I help people achieve their dreams. Okay. Right? Like, what does that mean? Right? I still don't know what that means. Number two, you get the people that are like, well, I do a lot of things. Okay. So I don't know, I still don't know whether or not you're a fit. Right. And then you get the people who unload on you the elevator pitch, right? And it goes on for 30 seconds or a minute, and they just spew at you all of this litany of things that they do. But it's really the elevator pitch was meant for people who were literally a captive audience. It can be very icky and salesy and pitchy. And sometimes there's still just too many words, because they're trying to just get it all out in 30 seconds before you leave. Right. And so it's meant for a captive audience that can't leave, and it's kind of icky. The fourth thing that happens is that you spend, I don't know how many times this happened to me, where I've literally talked to somebody at a networking event for 30 minutes and left, and I'm still like, I still just don't know. I don't really know what they do. I don't really understand. And I don't know if we should work together. So the 20-word intro, so Kimberly's 20-word intro her intro before she came up with the 20-word intro. And the 20-word intro is trademarked, by the way. We're actually going to start selling a certification in this. Nice. So the 20-word intro that she had, or the intro that she had before she came up with the 20-word intro, was, I'm Kimberly, and I help authors create audiobooks. Okay, so she thought that was going to be a big hit. Who doesn't want an audiobook? Well, here's the thing. Most authors who write books are actual hard copy book readers. Okay, they may not be a hard copy, but they still want a tangible book that they can read. It's just the demographic of authors is that most of them are book readers. Okay, well, studies show that 50% of readers actually prefer audiobooks. So 50% of readers like a book or a Kindle, right, where they can turn pages and read for themselves. And then the other 50% actually prefer audiobooks. So what that means is that authors who don't have audiobooks are missing out on 50% of their potential audience by not having an audiobook. So Kimberly created the 20-word intro, and it goes like this. I'm Kimberly. I help authors reach a wider audience and new streams of revenue by creating audiobooks. Now, that was golden, because authors do want a wider audience and new streams of revenue. So she starts with her name, and then she tells you who the audience is, right? It's authors. And the more that you can speak about your niche, the better, but it should only be a few words, right? So for example, I help women. I help I help parents of teens, right? I help people, people battling illness. Like in your case, Joyce, you might help people battling illness to find better health holistically, right? So I help, and then what your demographic is. The next piece is about the results. See, she told them the results. So authors don't want to create they don't want to create an audiobook, but they do want a wider audience and new streams of revenue. So she tells them the results, but then they want to know how they're going to achieve it, right? So how are you going to achieve that result? Because see, if you don't tell people how they're going to achieve it, their mind automatically goes to whatever like the worst thing is that they really hate. Like, so if I'm like, I help new moms fit back into the jeans they wore in high school, but that's all I say. And I don't say how. They're like, oh, you're going to make me eat Brussels sprouts. And I hate Brussels sprouts and they make me gag. Or you're going to make me work out until I throw up. And I don't want to do that. I hate doing that. Like I tried that and it just makes me like, I can't do it. Right. Or you're going to give me pills and potions. Right. If I say that, if I don't say what it is, you automatically think it's the thing that you hate. And so you're like, oh, now I don't want to work with you because I hate that thing. So you have to tell them. Otherwise their mind goes crazy thinking of the thing that they don't want. So if I say, I'm Ginny, I help new moms get into the jeans that they wore in high school with a 75-cent a day cup of coffee. Now you know. If you're not a coffee drinker, hey, you probably don't want to do it. Totally cool, right? If that sounds like pills and potions and you don't like pills and potions, fine, right? It's cool. But that makes me, again, goes back to let's be better sorters in our business. But guys, wouldn't you love it if you went to a networking event and you literally could find out in 20 words whether or not the person was a fit for you, and then you could move on instead of spending 45 minutes talking to somebody that you don't know if you want to work with and you don't really understand what they do, right? So that's a snippet of the type of clarity that we give you when you come to the retreat. So we work on that 20-word intro. We work on getting your message clear and concise so that you can tell a powerful story to your potential perfect client in less than 5 minutes that actually makes them want to buy, right? So we teach you all of that because whether or not you're ever going to step on stage, having those tools in your arsenal is going to make you a better sorter in business. It's going to make you a better filterer of clients and get you more qualified clients. Qualified clients equal more money, more money in really an easier fashion, right? By just getting the clarity. So even if you don't want to step on stage, doing this particular retreat is just a great way to get clear and concise about your business and be able to bring it to the world in a way that like has them either jump in or jump out. Like it's fine. It doesn't, if I'm not for you, that's okay. Jump out. But like, let's get down to the brass tacks here, right?
Right. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. And there are a lot of valuable information from a lot of knowledgeable people. Not only are they knowledgeable, but they also have a lot of great energy. It's something I will do again. Definitely do it again. Is Julie Cotton going to be there?
So Julie is usually our person for improv. She is not able to come this time. She will be at all the others. This particular time, she just had a conflict, but we have an amazing guy from New Orleans called Chris True. He's with Hell Yes Media, and he is an awesome improver. So we do also help you guys with improv. So I led an improv class for about 2 years here in Houston, and I can just tell you that the most amazing thing about improv for business is it really does help you to become a creative problem solver and to think on your feet, right? So that when your customer does come to you with a problem, you're not like, I don't know what to say, right? It just really does get you comfortable and help you to problem solve and think on your feet in a much more effective way. So we are going to be doing some improv led by the amazing Chris True from your hometown of New Orleans. Well, not hometown, but where you live now of New Orleans.
Well, I'm really glad you said that because that's one thing Julie does. I'm really glad you said that but yeah, it's not only do you meet great people who have great positive energy, it's a fun time. You are going to have fun. Jenny and Kimberly, they just don't stand up there and talk to you. It's like watching kind of a mini show.
Well, thanks for saying that. I love that. Yeah,
it is because you guys, you guys work so well together, your energy and your personalities, that it's like watching a little show. You guys are so entertaining. Why do you think I come back time and time again?
I know, I love it. Well, and and I want to say something about that coming back time and time again. I used to do ballroom dancing, and when I did it, I got into the advanced levels, and I eventually taught ballroom. But the place that I went for ballroom lessons, once I got into intermediate, they would allow you as an intermediate or an advanced student to always go back and take the beginning classes for free. And I would always do it because there is so much value in just repeating the basics.
Mhm.
So, if you guys think about professional athletes, right? Professional athletes, they go through these basic rudimentary drills all of the time. Tom Brady still goes through rudiments, right? Even though he's the greatest quarterback of all time, I promise you that he doesn't just do advanced training. He goes back and he does those basic drills. That as a speaker, going back to those basics, going back to those basic formulas is so valuable. And I personally am a huge believer in going back over the basics time and time again. And then, like you said, it's not the same retreat every time. So we have new guests every time. So this time we have Jay Souter. He's never been at one of our retreats before, but he's fantastic. We have Chris True, who's never been at one of our retreats before, and he is really phenomenal. We're going to have Christoph Wyman coming. He leads the Ultimate Speaker Competition in 4 cities around the country throughout the year, and we're going to host a mock speaker competition. So there's so many, I know, and so you don't. It's not the same thing every time, and we really do encourage people to come back time and time again. And we're actually going to roll out a new program at this one that makes it easy to do that, where you guys will actually get a chance to come back to every single one of our events throughout the year. And we're going to make it really easy for folks to do that going forward, because we know how valuable it is to be able to go back and just kind of do those basics, but then add on. There's a thing called integration, right? You learn something and you're kind of like, I don't know, I don't think I can apply all this. And then you try to apply it, you apply some things, but you don't get it all. So then you go back, you do the basics, and you've applied some of it. So now you get to apply some of the stuff that didn't stick the first time. And so that's really the value of coming back again and again. And I'm so glad that you have, Joyce. And I'm glad that you did experience the fact that yes, there's some things that are the same, but there's still plenty of variety from retreat to retreat.
But even so, especially for new speakers or speakers who never have done some of the formulas that you give, I went the first time, then came back the second time and revamped it even more. So now my 20-word pitch is, I'm Joyce. I teach individuals how to maximize their health for a better quality of life holistically with my products and speaking.
Yeah, see, that's perfect. And it's so clear, right? Any of us could say to you, any of us could say, oh, hey, this is Joyce. She helps people to live a better life holistically, right? And have better health holistically. Like, it's so easy because now I know what you do. And if I'm not into holistic stuff, cool. You and I are not a fit because you are so deeply, into holistic living that you wouldn't want to have to drag somebody along, right? The thing about dragging a customer along is you'll always be dragging them, right? You don't want to have to fight to get the fish in the boat. If you have to fight to get the fish in the boat, you're going to fight to keep the fish in the boat, right? What you want is fish who want to jump in your boat. And that's what public speaking does, is it helps fish to voluntarily jump into your boat. And I think that's really powerful.
So what's the deadline for registering?
We do need to try to get all the registrations in by end of next week because the retreat does start on the 8th, and we have some headcounts. We're actually including some things this time that we didn't include last time. We have some sponsors who are going to be sponsoring breakfast, sponsoring lunch, and sponsoring some dinners. Yeah. So if you're coming this time, you're actually, we always include like a lunch or two, but you're really going to be getting a lot of stuff included that you didn't necessarily expect. So we need to be able to place our orders for all that stuff. So ideally, we'd like for folks to register by this coming Friday, which is, I think, the 4th.
I'm not sure. Now, for those to get the sponsor meals, does general admission get that along with VIP?
They do. They do get those sponsor meals.
See there? And the thing is too, is where are you going to find a 3-day event where you get so much information at such a reasonable cost? You know, that's the thing. When I saw it, when it came through my email the first time, well, first of all, it was like, it's in New Orleans. That's an hour away from me. You know, cool. What? This is the price? You know, it's like Jenny was saying, you pay so much more for like a 1-day event. You could pay double, like $2,000. You know, so this is a really good price. You get a lot of good information. You're getting that experience to get up on the stage and speak. You're getting the encouragement of other people who are standing exactly where you're standing, or who have been that, everybody's rooting for you. You know, it's a win-win situation. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the link in the description, and you guys all have to head on over there and sign on up and meet Jenny Trust, because she's freaking amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, this is a joy of my heart. You know, the biggest reason that I do it is I don't want to see people spend thousands of dollars on speaking programs that aren't right for them. You know, I don't want to see people doing the wrong type of speaking for their business. I don't want to, I mean, people, you can spend a lot of money out there really quickly on public speaking programs if you don't know what's right. So if you're thinking of this, you know, come and try out a couple different forms. Come and get around some people that have gone down the path. And we've got people at all levels. We've got people who have never set foot on a stage. And then we've even got people that come. We've got a couple that's coming. They speak all the time, and they're just coming to be students. You know, they're just coming to be students and just hone those skills. And, you know, they're not going to get up and sell anything or speak or teach anything. They just are like, you know what, we're dedicated to getting our public speaking really working for our business. And so we're gonna come, even though they've been doing it for a couple of years, they just feel like they have more to learn. And so we have people at all levels. And so we would love for you guys to come out and get a taste for how this really can change your business. I'm passionate about it because it changed my whole life, not just my business, my whole life. I was working sometimes 120 days in a row. I was working 14 more days. I was exhausted, guys. I could not keep up that pace, you know, and public speaking changed it for me. I now work like maybe 10 hours a week, and I'm making more money than I made before. But I'm better with my time. I'm being a better sorter in my business. I'm qualifying clients instead of chasing them. And it's changed everything. And so I just want to help other people to change their businesses in the same way that I have.
And you know, the thing is too, is even if you're not going on a stage and speaking, maybe you're going to be on somebody's podcast, you know, or some other stage where you're not seen, or you don't have to face an audience. It's still good for wherever. And like Jenny said too, even networking, when you're networking, you know, it's really great to have this information. So it could be utilized not just if you're going to go up on stage and speak. So once again, you know, you have to get over to that link and get yourself signed up so you can go have some fun and get some knowledge with Jenny and Kimberly.
Oh, thank you. And we always do say, so we have a little thing we say, we keep adding to it, right? But there will be drinking. You don't have to drink. There will be dancing. You don't have to dance. There will be cussing. You don't have to cuss. There will be singing. You don't have to sing. There will be fun. You do have to have fun. Because as Kimberly says, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you, Jenny, so much for taking time out of your day to be with me. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's such a pleasure to be around you, Joyce. And I love that you're a part of our tribe, and, you know, even, you know, just continuing to help other business owners get ahead in their business. And I love what you're doing here in the world. And again, I love your products. You guys go grab some of these amazing Heavenly Bodies products for Valentine's Day. That sale is huge. So jump over there and grab some products as well.
And I'll put the Share Love code, all capitals, in the description too. So Jenny, thank you again for being with me. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
Well, I'll close it out the way that Kimberly would close it out. So if you're not being seen, you're being overlooked. And if you're not being heard, your message isn't getting out there. And if you're not clear on your message, it's not having the impact that you want to make in the world. So go and have an impact in the world and step up for your business in 2022. We hope to see you guys on the stages around the world.
Thank you again, Jenny, for being here. And thank you to the listening audience for being here. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, morning, or night, wherever you are in the world. And keep shining.